I'm sure we're all familiar with the fact that the Miami Heat use zone defense more than anyone else in the NBA, and it was a key component to beating the Boston Celtics in 7 games, considering they ran it on 18.6% of their half-court defensive possessions and held them to a crazy low 0.759 points per possession. While I'm sure we all ran a 2-3 zone back in 8th grade, the Heat do some things that you might not have noticed, so let's dig in. First off, I love that they sometimes add some backcourt pressure, just enough to slow them down and run the shot clock down, but the Celtics never had enough urgency getting into their attack. Notice how they don't even begin to look at the basket until there are only 12 seconds left on the clock. Also notice that Bam likes to set up on the weak side and do his little dance in and out of the key to avoid a defensive 3-second violation. This allows him to see the ball and any potential cutters like Jaylen Brown. Watch how high their forwards come up. Lowry knows the corner is empty, so he can mark the pass to Tatum until Butler can recover. By the time Smart gets to the strong side corner, there is very little time left on the shot clock. Robinson will stunt at the wing until Martin can get there, and Lowry again must close to the wing since Butler can't get there in time. This seam between the guard and forward is a key to attacking the zone, and because Bam had to stay home in case Tatum got penetration, it leaves no one to rotate to the corner, but the Celtics shot 31.9% from the corners in the series, a far cry from their regular season percentage and even how they shot in the previous playoff rounds. Here's some light pressure again with the shot clock ticking down, but the Celtics took too long in recognizing the zone and getting into something. There are 12 seconds left before they run anything. There is Bam positioning on the weak side, allowing him to survey the whole floor and step in when needed. Jimmy ignores the long skip to the corner to essentially deny the pass to Brown on the wing, and this is the shot the defense is fine giving up, a corner 3 with a guy running at him. Here's something interesting with the guards. Highsmith is pressuring on the left side of the floor, but check how Martin exchanges with him to pick up Smart on the left wing. There's Bam moving to the weak side, and I love how Duncan Robinson has his back to the sideline. This is key to allow him to see everything in front of him. As the pass gets down to the post, Robinson bumps down to a traditional forward position, and this basically becomes a man-to-man as the shot clock winds down. With no strong side corner filled, Pritchard has no outlet and gets stripped. Again, notice how the guards exchange when Tatum cuts through and Robinson has his back to the sideline. Without any cutters, the defense becomes a man-to-man, and Bam can certainly handle the Horford drive and jump hook on his own. There's another guard exchange as the ball is entered to the wing, and the zone expects the forwards to be able to handle guarding the wing, then sprinting to the corner. But sometimes Bam will close out there if it's a shooter like Brown, and Robinson will then come all the way across the court to stop the cutter through the lane. With such extreme rotations, which almost never happen in the series, it allows the Celtics to attack as if it's a man-to-man, and the one more pass gets them an open 3. More often than not, the Heat simply conceded the corner 3-point shot when Lowry comes up to the wing to thwart the ball screen being set by Smart. The willingness to bring some forwards so high created a lot of problems for the offense, as Robinson can stay at the 3-point line and still be fast enough to get there when a bounce pass is thrown. This looks like a traditional 2-3 zone as Brown is way late cutting and Smart has to toss it up before the shot clock expires. I just loved how the forwards could face each other and communicate everything, operating in tandem with Bam to protect from cutters through the lane. And even when Lowry flips around when Hauser cuts through, he turns right around again, and the Heat give up exactly what they want, a 3-pointer with the defender running at him. However, this leaves them vulnerable to weak side rebounds as Lowry can't keep the much bigger Brown off the boards. The big concern with the forwards coming up this high on the weak side would be lob passes for dunks, but these are hard passes to throw, as Smart demonstrates by putting it about 2 feet short and off target, and because Robinson is facing that way, he can read it the whole way and tip it out into a steal. One reason the Celtics could never get comfortable against the zone is because of how the Heat employed it game to game. You can imagine Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla rigorously preparing them to play against it in each practice, and they're exposed to trolling them by not even running it the next game. It almost looked like the Heat decided to alternate games when they employed it a lot, and only in Game 5 did the Celtics find any success. While Jason Tatum took the most shots against the zone, he had the lowest field goal percentage of anyone in the Celtics. But there are ways you can win money and prizes based on player performance, and that's by going to So Rare, a collection of digital trading cards that allow you to score points based on the real-life performance of the players in your lineup. Add to that, Sorare has a postseason-long playoff tournament. This will be a cumulative league that gets you a total tournament score with real-life prizes totaling over $100,000 for Sorare managers that finish at or near the top of the leaderboard. Here's the lineup I'm setting up for the finals that fits under the salary cap. And if you sign up today, you'll get 20 free common cards, and you can build the rest of your lineup on the Sorare marketplace. Each week, you can set a new lineup, accumulate points, then watch these guys perform outrageous feats of skill that can win you real-life prizes. Click on the link below, set your playoff lineups right now. Terms apply and game rules can be found at Sorare.com. In Game 7, they continually tried to set an inside ball screen on one of the guards and then roll Horford into the lane. First off, this is not the scene to attack since Butler is standing right there, and rarely will you get dribble penetration between the guards. Horford seemed extremely uncomfortable in this role, and the Celtics could never make this attack work well. The idea was to get this short roll to Horford, suck Bam to the ball, and catch the weak side forward way too high to recover to the corner. Great shot, but the injured Brogdon wasn't going to make many. It was frustrating to watch them continually try to run this as Horford fumbles the pass and can't get the ball to the wide open corner. Again, Bam can easily handle whatever Horford has to offer in the paint one-on-one. You have to understand, there is no real threat by the ball handler when this ball screen is set, and Bam patiently waits for the roll on the weak side and then steps up. This basically becomes a man-to-man, and while Tatum does get to the basket, the whole defense is designed for Bam to never be more than a step away from protecting the rim, which he does well. It's not like this inside ball screen in the guard didn't work ever. Martin doesn't step over far enough, and this does allow Smart to get into the paint. I'm sure the Heat like the contest by Bam, and that's not such an easy shot to make. The guards will bunch up to prevent ball penetration here, but if Robinson doesn't get high enough to deny the pass to the wing, this is the correct seam to attack on a 2-3 zone, between the guard and the forward. Now they have options, a kick to either corner or the lob to Williams, who can't hit the little bank shot over Bam. It was mind-boggling that the Celtics didn't seem to understand where to attack this zone. They finally tried to exploit that guard-forward seam by having Williams step up to the outside of the guard. Martin comes across to plug the hole, Butler comes all the way to the top, leaving Bam stuck between the corner and the roll man, and they get an easy dunk. The simple fix to all of this was to just have someone like Tatum setting that screen and finding openings in the zone. I like how he screens to the outside, then releases into the paint. This is a design play for Brown to drive, pivot, and kick it back. While he misses the pass for a dunk, he does bunch the zone up and open a shot for White for 3. But it was really strange to me that the coaching staff couldn't figure out how to make Tatum more of a threat by moving him around and avoiding the inside ball screens in the guards. By Game 7, they tried to run a hawk set, but watch how Robinson could just blow up the double pin down on Bam, causing precious seconds to run off the clock. How can this team have nothing to flow to after 6 games of zone? I know Tatum was operating on one wheel, but they've been ripping his dribble all series long. Finally, Williams sets the right ball screen to the outside of the guard, and check what happens. They get the layup, but Tatum's left ankle is dead. However, because Bam had to protect the rim, Williams gets the easy tip in. It got so bad that they trotted out a lineup they hadn't played together before in the conference finals, going with 2 bigs and White alongside Brown and Tatum. There's the nonsensical inside ball screen again, with Bam by himself in the lane for 4 seconds, which helps negate the Horford roll. But now what? Without any type of rote action, the Celtics seemed incapable of organically attacking the zone. How this pass to the corner wasn't a steal, I have no idea, and it was lucky it ended up in White's hands for a decent look that goes in. In Game 4, I want you to see how getting Tatum screening and popping into the lane worked so well. This hawk set was inexplicably run for Horford going to the baseline, but with Tatum screening and releasing to the free throw line, he's got a wide open jumper when Bam isn't willing to stay with him. But they simply never ran anything like that again, until they were down 16 points in the 3rd quarter in Game 7. I love this action. Back screen the guard, then release to the foul line. There's no answer for this except that his ankle was sprained. And then a double ball screen early in the 4th gets him into the middle with low-high action that got him a layup that he blows, but how can you argue with the shot itself? Another benefit of playing zone is that it can instantly cause mismatches on the other end. Because Jimmy was the forward, he runs down the middle of the floor, forcing Williams to pick him up. It doesn't take long for the Heat to seek out the advantage on the wing, and Butler catches Williams too close and could pull up into contact to earn 2 crucial free throws. Honestly, this series should have been over in 6, especially after watching them try setting that same inside ball screen again. Only this time it's Brown, which I like, but then why is Tatum cutting through at the exact same time? Tatum continually tried to initiate contact all series long. This causes him to practically sprain this ankle and then travel as he hops on the gather step before missing this so badly it somehow glances off the bottom of the backboard and right back to him, only to have Bam continue protecting the rim as the shot clock was about to expire. And based on the success of the zone, it was a little strange that the Heat didn't stick with it for the final possession here, as I'm fine with Strus helping to deny the pass to Tatum. However, Smart kinda screws this up. The best play is to get it right back to White for a wide open shot. But it worked out for them, if only to give them another game to show how poorly their planned attack of the zone was. If you're wondering what it looks like to outcoach someone, this series was it. The Heat were severely undermanned, out-talented, and had to play on the road 4 times. And yet Eric Spoelstra was able to squeeze just enough out of what he had while relying on the inability of Joe Mazzulla to craft a proper zone attack, leading his 8th-seeded team to an even bigger mismatch in the NBA Finals.